Hi, I'm Charlene, and I'm making this video today to talk to you about the Holy Grail. And that is what I've created my channel around, the mysteries of the Holy Grail. And what I'm going to be sharing here is information that's come to me directly through visions and dreamtime experiences. Some degree of research, but mostly it's coming straight from the intuitive receptors. So this is just me sharing what I've been given from the spirit world, and if it's of use to you, then I am very happy to hear that. Otherwise, feel free to just let it pass through you. So the Holy Grail is a very prominent symbol right now in these times, and most people associate it with certain time periods in history when it was also very prominent, such as King Arthur and Camelot, Avalon, in that time. And I've been shown that that was a very, very real experience where those people in that land came very close to realizing the divine nature of humanity and the divine nature of love on earth. The Holy Grail, of course, as a symbol of that true love, the cup, the chalice, the water of the true love that flows between two. And on that note, I also want to share that one of the most prominent visions that I've seen is that humanity was not always in two genders. And a very long time ago, thousands and thousands of years ago, we were just one. We were androgynous, and we were in harmony. We were communicating mostly through, up here, a third eye, intuitive. And at some point in time that it happened where humanity sort of fell from a higher state of operating, higher powers embodied on earth, and the two genders and the polarity came in. And so what I've been shown is that there actually is another person. There is another person who is literally the other half of you. And we live in very interesting times, again, being, I would say, quite polarized. So we have, on one hand, it seems, a lot of cynicism in people, that they want to think that love is a joke and it's something sentimental for children's books, and that, you know, that the real journey is about being free and being crazy. And that's great too, but then there's the other side of things, it seems, where a lot of people are seeming to tune into this nature of the true love principle right now. The true love from fairy tales and children's books is very, very real and very, very powerful. Has the capacity to transform the world we live in. And if you just have to feel that for a minute, to transform. Because what really happens when these two people come together, right? I mean, it's like these two magnets or polarities, and they are coming closer and closer, and then they get really close, and it's just instant, like, fireworks, lights go off. Literally, it's the light that is going to allow the earth to ascend into a higher state of being, a higher vibration, a higher frequency of love, really, of the love on earth. Transforms those who witness it, who maybe have not experienced it firsthand. So by witnessing that act of these two becoming one, they might not know what's going on a conscious level, but by seeing it, it changes them and it attunes them to the frequency of what's possible. So going back to the whole experience of having this masculine and feminine polarity, and again, it's not even always about being in a male body or a female body. Sometimes, in cases of homosexuality or transgender type experiences, it can be the same gender body, but the polarity is always going to be there, where there's one embodying the masculine and one embodying the feminine. So what I've been shown is that this journey is ultimately about the coming together in the wholeness. It's very important ultimately for these two to come together, but in order to do that, each one separately, even though it's an illusion that they're separate, but each one does need to come into the wholeness of their own being first. And that is what will ultimately magnetize them back together, because like attracts like. So this wholeness within, not needing the other one in any way, and being very empowered in themselves to do everything they need to do, that's when they can come together and harmonize in an empowered, balanced, lasting relationship, because ultimately that's what's very important, is that the love is here to stay. It needs to stay. And right now we have these two polarities. We have the masculine and we have the feminine, and what I've seen as the main issues of each one is it's related to the chakras. So if you think about the chakras of the feminine, I feel that it's kind of an alternating current going up and down, the spinal column of every other chakra is masculine, every other chakra is feminine. So starting with the root, that's a very masculine type of chakra, where it's about, material resources, grounding, stability, practicality, and that solidity of the foundation, that of providing for oneself and for others, is very masculine quality. And going up to the next one, the sacral, it's like, I think of the womb when I think of that. It's the feminine has very powerful sacral chakra energy when she's really, embodying her own feminine nature. So it's the nurturing of creativity, of sensuality, sexuality. Like, the woman is holding that. It's magnetic. It's the sacral chakra energy that will ultimately attract the masculine. In the beginning of relationships, that's where that energy is coming from. It's very watery, and it's very, watery and magnetic. Going up another chakra, we have the solar plexus again. So masculine, very action-oriented, outward-oriented, and all these masculine chakras, if you think about it, they're pointing out. They go towards something, whereas the feminine chakras tend to be more inward, feeling, contained. So going up another chakra, the heart. So the feminine tends to be operating from her heart chakra a lot more naturally. The feeling center, the love center, the nurturing, the the emotionality in general, going up another chakra, the throat. So the masculine tends to be, it's a masculine quality of putting your words out, not keeping them in, but allowing them to come out and meet the other, meet whoever's listening, as an assertion of what you feel or believe, think, know, what you want, what you perceive. So going up another chakra, third eye, very feminine. Again, it's about going in, tuning in, closing your outer eyes to go to the inner eye to receive visions from the higher realms. And so very feminine. And the crown up above sort of it's beyond any gender by that point. The crown is, it's the merging of all that is. So all that is, and then you have these polarities. So ultimately, the female or the feminine polarity is working on these certain aspects of working with the root chakra, being very grounded and stable in her own self, in her power. The willpower, solar plexus, taking action and not being passive, not allowing life to necessarily just blow her around wherever it may, but to assert her own direction on where she's going, where she wants and needs to go, speaking her truth, not holding it in, not withholding any longer what she's seeing up here, or what she's feeling in her heart, or what she's feeling in her womb, because the womb, it's a container of information as well, and even in sexuality, to be voicing the clarity of what she wants, even just basic, like that primal, just letting it out, letting it all come through. And then the masculine right now seems to be working on, this sacral energy, so the womb container of what does it mean to nurture creativity, to nurture a project, to nurture love in that way that a womb tends to do. And he's working on his heart, being in his heart center. So not necessarily always thinking from up here about what to do next, or what is happening from the lens of the mind, like the rational minds, but feeling from the heart of the eyes of love. What is the situation viewed from the eyes of love, which are a very vast lens. And he's also working on opening up his third eye. So going from a place of being very action-oriented in the external worlds to allowing himself to drop in more deeply to his own body, maybe clearing out his body, like on a very physical level, eating really healthy so that this gland can really decalcify and open to receive visions, to really see what's going on. So he's not in the dark about what this process is. It seems like the feminine has been aware of this true love unfolding for the past few years, where maybe the masculine has not been as aware of it. And it's all beautiful because the journey is like it's perfectly mirrored in this, like I said, these two polarities. And it's in the perfect timing. It's in this very divinely synchronized timing that these various lessons are being integrated in both, so they can come together. Now, what I feel most called to talk about here, and why I feel I created this channel on YouTube, is because, so on this journey, there is an outer representation of the beloved. It's there, it's there. There's a person on the other end of it, and we look at this person with immense adoration, longing, love, knowingness, togetherness, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to have the outer representation. But what I've been shown in these visions is that ultimately, in the pursuit of the Holy Grail, why it's been so elusive, why it's been portrayed in art and writings and movies and music as being so elusive. And this is really real. It's not a joke. It's not something that is just a concept. It's been elusive because in the quest for the Holy Grail, in the quest for true love, oftentimes one of these people, and usually it's been the masculine being portrayed as being on the quest. The more externally driven one is he wants to attain this amazingly transcendent Holy Grail. But in that quest, he has mistakenly reached for the outer representation of love, of true love, before reaching for that true love within himself. And that has been what has caused the downfalls. That's been what's caused these downfalls. I believe in Camelot, that's what happened. And all through, all these times that it's been talked about in literature and in paintings, you see these incredible, one that really is striking my imagination right now is a certain portrayal of the Holy Grail, and it's like there's these two cliffs, one on each end. The Holy Grail is sitting up between them in the middle of the air. It's floating. And there's all these knights like in armor, from the medieval times or Renaissance, and it's showing knight after knight falling off the cliff as he's trying to reach for it. And the only one that could go toward it is the one who could walk on the air itself. Walking on the air itself, then he could reach it. And to me, what that's about is to walk on air means to be whole in oneself, in one's own embodiment of divine love, true love, the masculine and feminine within being completely integrated. So all the chakras are active and they're aligned, and the masculine and feminine, in terms of maybe you could say the left side of your body and the right side of your body as the lovers, and they're working in harmony and they're balanced. If you think about this from a yogic perspective, that's the reason why in yoga all these certain positions are done on the left and then on the right for the same amount of time on both, because it's the inner lovers. In the physical embodiment, it's very important that these energies that your body is holding, not only the muscles themselves, but the energy that's actually flowing through both, and the organs that are connected to both sides are really balanced and in harmony. So I highly recommend during these times, if you're resonating with what I'm saying on this topic, And if you're feeling yourself as being on this journey right now, it's the time for working with the physical body itself. So bringing down from spirit, which is above, bringing it down into your body. And this can be challenging for a lot of people, especially those who are attuned to what the spirit has shown them. If you're having visions in a way that is similar to what I'm talking about, it's not a quick or easy process necessarily to bring what you're seeing into form. But that is the task that we're being called upon to do. So, along with yoga, I feel it's the time for purification of the body and clearing out of the diet anything that is not really pure. The body is really the temple. The body, you could say, is also the Holy Grail in and of itself. Like your own body, your body is your true love. It's almost another way of looking at this sacred marriage. It's the marriage of your spirit essence with your body. The only way your spirit can fully inhabit your body is if you have cleared it of toxic foods, could be toxic thoughts or beliefs, toxic patterns, addictions of various sorts. But I feel, you know what the addictions are that people go through. I'm not going to list them, but even things like coffee, I personally have experienced that coffee makes me leave my body, and it's really great for getting inspired in some certain moments. If you want to kind of like shoot up a little bit and get a higher perspective, at least for me, I can't speak for everyone, but ultimately it is like a drug, and it affects our inner chemistry, and it speeds everything up. And to go faster means you're not going to be feeling as much, because the feeling process is slow. To feel, you have to take it slow. You have to go slow and hold space in your body to allow everything to come all the way down. And sometimes that can be very challenging with all the stored emotions from, it could be childhood, it could be past lives, it could be various points of this life, pain that you're holding on to, wounding, fear, fear, any kind of fear. It's not really pleasant to feel that. But ultimately, it is the feeling of those things that will empower everyone, each person. It will empower you on the deepest level to move through it, move with it. You would have the full power of your body with working with you. And eating fruits and vegetables in like really, really pure, streamlined, raw kind of diet. For me personally, there's a night and day difference in my body, my spirit, everything, when I'm eating in this way and drinking a lot of water. My dreamtime experiences become even more vivid. Sometimes, I have even very intense psychic visions that open up in the middle of my day, waking life, eyes wide open. And the connection with the external beloved it's a very fascinating experience and beautiful. And for those of you who have experienced something like this, that connection is always going to be there. And surely you have also experienced in dreams these encounters, and they're on a higher plane. They're in a higher dimension of the soul. Everything feels so incredible, so blissful, so perfect. Time is not there. And it's just the love. And it's psychically completely transparent because you're on this higher dimension, and up there, it's like a bird's eye view. You can see exactly what's happening in their life. They can see what's happening in your life. Whereas maybe down on earth, you're not actually speaking much or at all in this process of coming into wholeness in yourself and them in themselves. So the communication is always going to be there, and it's in the dreams, it's also in the heart space. If you tune into your heart space, even putting your hand over your heart, it's bringing the energy there, and you can feel and maybe see the messages that they have to give to you, the love. And just to be with it, and just to love that, but understand that it's not even about that. It's not about the paradox of that. It's not about them, but it is. But to really be focused on your own inner work, the inner integration of the lovers, the true lovers, and it's a real powerful time. What I've been shown is that a lot of people have been doing this inner work for a good number of years now. It seems a lot of people in the past 5 years especially. So it's very possible that these reunions will happen soon in the physical, on Earth, with the external beloved. It's possible. And yet there's no expectation. But I wanted to make myself available through YouTube to be here to guide and empower you on your journey to embodying your inner divine beloved and coming to wholeness within yourself. Because sometimes it takes an outer guide or example, mirror, whatever you want to call it, to assist you in making the full transformation. And ultimately, it takes a lot. It takes everything to make that transformation. It takes everything. It's like we have, our light side, and we have a dark side, part of wholeness. So a lot of the work has been to go into what's in the dark, what's in the shadow of your being, like underneath. What is it that you've suppressed in yourself, or you have tried to hide in yourself, that's a part of you that maybe in your childhood was squelched by someone, told it was unacceptable? Is it a fear you have of expressing it, and you maybe don't even know where the fear comes from? Is there something in you that feels ashamed of something you've done in your life, or something that you feel? A lot of this is based on feelings. They're the unpleasant feelings that are not necessarily easy to navigate. And again, it's just by embracing all these things, the embracing of all that you are, all the light and all the dark, and the things that maybe someone has told you are so terrible about you, or society maybe sends messages out that this thing that you've done or thing that you feel is not good. Sometimes it's also about confusion, being confused about who you are, or maybe what you're here to do, maybe what just the polarity of what you've been through on your journey. Or maybe you've received visions and you're not sure how to interpret them, or maybe you're experiencing communication with your external beloved and you're trying to navigate what's going on. And I would say I have a good deal of experience with all those things, and I would be very honored to help you in whatever ways that I can on this journey. So I will leave it at that for now, and I'm just sending so much love to you on your path, this beautiful experience that we're in right now. It's a very unique time, so I hope you're embracing it for what it is. And if you would like to book a session with me through Skype, go ahead and email me at mysteriesoftheholygrail@gmail.com, and we will set it up. I will be just overjoyed to talk with you. So until next time.